when I was in my late teens or my early 20s, he was about to be 14. So I think I was 19. Yeah. I had just lost a cat I grew up with a few weeks earlier. And I had had that cat for 8 or 9 years, and his name was Chester. He was an orange tabby, and it was pretty heartbreaking losing him. And for a few weeks, I was pretty sad. And one day, I was smoking a cigarette back when I used to smoke when I was younger, in our basement in front of the fireplace in the dark. And my sister, she came home with my mom, and she came downstairs and she set something next to me. And I had told my mom and my sister that I didn't want another pet, you know, I was just kind of done with it. And she had come up in the dark and set something next to me. And at first I didn't notice what she was doing. And then I looked over and I saw, and I told her, I was like, you know, you need to go tell mom and take this back. I don't want this, you know, and I said it pretty firmly, but my sister stood there for a second, just kind of like looking at me in the dark. And then she went back upstairs and she didn't take him with her. And so I sat there, and after a minute or two, I felt something start to crawl up my shirt and onto my shoulders. His name was Ghost. And so, yeah, I fell in love with him. For the first few weeks that he was here, he was pretty sick, and he sneezed on my face every night. Because when you take him from the Humane Society, they can get right away, you know, they get kind of sick. They can get sick. And he could fit in my hand then. And he slept on my pillow next to my head for the first few weeks and just sneezed all night. And he was so sick. And anyway, yeah, I I have two other cats that I love very much, but Ghost, well, it's hard to explain, but when I got into my 20s, I didn't have you know, friends. I just had my mom and my dad and my sister, and I spent my whole of my 20s alone. And you know, for personal reasons, I don't want to get into all that. The point is that my best friend, my only friend, was this cat. And in August, he had been having, I don't want to kind of get into the past year. He just been having health problems. And I remember years ago, like, I was like, I knew that, like, gosh, one day whenever I have to, like, let him go, like, I'm not gonna live. Like, I won't live. Like, this isn't my cat. This is my kid. This is my brother. This is my best friend. It's funny when it came down to it, though, and I knew, and they told me at the vet. I just knew. I was like, yeah, I know how I'm gonna do this. I love him too much to do it any other way. And when I put him to sleep, I didn't cry. I was just smiling and holding him and being with him, and just like really holding him and telling him over and over again, like, how much I love him and I'm not losing him. And it was definitely the hardest experience of my life, and I've been through some pretty hard things. And as soon as, like, he was gone, like, I was able to kind of like break a little, but it was just very important to me that at the end there, for him being an animal, to wire in very specific emotions of happiness and peace and celebration and love, and to not have him detect this other part of it. And he knew what was going on. He had known for a few weeks, and so he didn't seem afraid, and he was just there with me, kissing me, and he went to sleep easy in my arms. And anyway, the past several months have been really hard, but it's gotten a little easier. I mean, not easier, but just like, I think we as human beings, especially here in the West, we're under this illusion, people collectively, that death is it's just a bad relationship people have with death. I understand death to be something very transitory, and so it didn't hurt me at all, like this happening to him. I love intensely my family. It's all that I am. You know, it's why I'm still with my mom and my dad today. And my sister is my closest friend outside of my pets, and I don't have anyone else, and I never really have since I was a lot younger, like my teenage years. I'm 33 now. But I wish people didn't cause themselves the kind of pain that they do, because I was even speaking to the guy when Ghost was being put to sleep about and this guy looked so broken too. Like his soul looked like you could see the degradation of that through his flesh. It was just really unsettling to kind of meet this person and see his life, through, a quick lens of a moment in time in my life. And yeah, that was sad. But because this guy, for a living, and I guarantee you, whenever people are putting down their cats and their dogs, they're not like I was. These are very emotional, hysterical situations for those people, and it does not have to be that way. And I don't like saying it, being a bit brash when I say this, but you're putting unnecessary harm on your loved ones when you are in that kind of state. And that needs to be a time of peace and celebration and love. And it's the hardest thing that you can do, but I personally, I couldn't do anything less for someone I love. But anyway, like I said, I understand this to be a very transitory experience. So for me, there's never any loss that's occurring. It's what I understand objectively to be true. So it's in my older age, it's been very confusing to me to kind of look at where I am in the world and see how that relationship is with something that is perceived to be so dark and so finite. When I was younger, I had a different relationship with it, but even then, I understood it. I still understood people to be so at odds with something they just didn't understand, and I think that's what was dark for me. It was where it came through from people rather than the experience itself, because even then I understood it to be something very elusive. But I'm making this video just to I don't want to And by the way, there's nothing wrong with crying. I mean, come on, you can't hide that or hold that back. I mean, if that's the kind of the frustrating part of it for me. It's I know what I know, but at the same time, I'm still here in my body. And there's been these experiences I've had of seeing him here in the house, and those should make me happy, but it's just frustrating. I miss him a lot. And yeah, but he's outside, and I wanted to make this video just to kind of talk about him. And I wanted to plant a tree on where I buried him, and I'm going to show you that and compost it and talk about it a bit. But I also wanted to make this video to kind of include some pictures of him. God, man. Anyway, there's nothing wrong. I'm fine. It's just, it is what it is. You know, every once in a while, I think right now I'm just allowing this to hurt, and it doesn't need to, you know, especially now after like 2 months, like, but I miss him a lot. And was so many times that I didn't have like anything in this world to kind of like hold on to. And I clicked with this cat in a way that I didn't know like a person could have a relationship with an animal. I always kind of saw it as something different than relationships with people until he matched me in ways that I didn't know I could be matched on a deeper level. And so a lot of that feels like it was just deranged a bit. So I'm just trying to rearrange it a bit now and just kind of move into it. And I still have 2 cats I love very much, but anyway, I'm kind of drawing this out. I had went over and over again. I was through so many different trees, like trying to figure out the best one, but for not that it matters, but this is the one that for whatever reason I decided on this one and just talk about it a bit. So yeah, let's go do that and stop crying. So right now I am in my backyard, and I'm at the site where I buried Ghost, and I'm about to plant the tree that I selected for him, his grave site, and that tree is called a Grancy Graybeard. It is a fringe tree. It's a native tree where I'm at, and it really is it's just the perfect tree for what just a perfect representation for my love for Ghost and his connection with me, and something I'll always have of him to be near me. And that is behind me. As you can see, I also cut down a crabapple because it was in the way. I'd prefer to have gotten all that brush out of here before I did this, but that's not how it worked out. And I really wanted to plant it while it's still flowering, so you could see me do it while it's flowering. I don't know how to say this. I want you to give everyone a big old kiss. Big old kiss, Ghost. Good boy. Ghost, you gotta go get it and bring it here, buddy. I'm not going to go get it. Little Snaggletooth. Look at that Snaggletooth bunny.